What are you going to say now that I have this unmatched championship that I didn't even consider going to? She went to LeBron James' youngest son's high school state championship game. If this championship matters, Angel Reese just got exposed. And the internet isn't holding back the so-called championship she's being hyped up for. It turns out that she didn't even show up for the playoffs, which is right while her teammates were out there grinding and fighting for a title. I had no idea that she didn't even bother to show up to support her teammates. Ree was nowhere to be seen. Everyone instantly took to social media and Twitter to post, "Look at what Angel Reese has accomplished." She won a national championship at LSU, was the WNBA's rebounding queen, and now won a championship in the Unrivaled. She is also the Defensive Player of the Year. What an echo, but the media still hyped her up as if she were the MVP of the entire event. The real question is, though, whether this championship is truly worthy of celebration or if this is just another instance of the media spreading a narrative that doesn't match reality. Joel Reese's 3-on-3 highlights from the entire season are my MVP. She should have won Defensive Player of the Year, but everyone else here didn't. I would have awarded it to the Rim for the finest plays from this account alone, but she did. The Unrivaled League was supposed to be a game-changing revolution in women's basketball. Something new, exciting, and different. Let's face it, though, almost no one was paying attention last night. I guess if you want to take a victory lap on that, you can. I'm not sure if it means anything. Oh, you have to see this one. Your favorite hand-eye coordination, footwork, and wide-open bang is the greatest to ever have their shot blocked. How significant was this championship to Angel Ree? It wasn't. Even true 5-on-1 basketball. Rather, it was a 3-on-1 competition, a format that already has trouble attracting serious basketball fans. Ree wasn't even in the building for the final game last night, and she didn't even bother to show up, but the media didn't waste any time in making it seem like it was on par with an NCAA or WNBA championship. In contrast to real professional leagues with millions of viewers and actual stakes, why is it only women's basketball where we see athletes acting like they faced off against Final in the final law matchup that, let's be honest, no one was talking about? Reese's team, the Rose, and all of that were more important than being at the location with her teammates. Even ESPN, which attempted to provide some coverage, was unable to make this tournament seem like a huge deal. And instead of being present to support her teammates during the final 2 playoff games, Ree was nowhere to be seen. But the worst part is that even though she missed the championship game, she still acted as though she carried the team. Instead of playing on the court or even physically being there, she literally facetimed into the post-game celebration as if that somehow counted. That's right. While her teammates were actually working hard for the title, Angel Ree was celebrating. Remotely, even chatting into the press conference as though she had just guided them to victory. Because of the hilarious controversy surrounding Reese's so-called championship moment, which she wasn't even present for, this Unrivaled League championship was so big. If this was such a major career achievement for Angel Ree, wouldn't she have actually played in the game? Could you imagine Breena Stewart or Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson missing a championship game and still expecting to be celebrated as though they did something? Yes, that wouldn't fly, even if ESPN covered this so-called championship. Although Angel Ree did not play in the last 2 games, she added another trophy to her collection after Chelsea Gray dropped more than 30 points in the final game. Naturally, social media jumped in to defend her story, with her fans flooding. Twitter with her past accomplishments and claiming that this random 3-on-3 tournament was on par with her LSU title or anything she had done in the WNBA. The hype was completely over the top, and her touch and finesse are stunning. If this championship had truly mattered, Ree would have been on the court leading her team rather than sitting at home chatting like a fan. The truth is that the media is desperate to make her a superstar, even though the facts don't support it. And when you look more closely, it's clear that this championship is more smoke and mirrors than an actual accomplishment. Her grace is amazing, and she's my MVP. She's the best jumper I've ever seen. Reese clearly thought so highly of it that she decided asterisk nah. I don't want to diminish the greatness of this moment by actually attending the game. I'll just FaceTime. An asterisk, let's be honest, no one asked for a 3-and-re. Full court women's basketball league. And no one paid attention to it, but instead of letting it fade into irrelevance, the media decided to create a social media campaign and pretend Angel. Ree just accomplished something major, and this isn't the first time we've seen them bend over backward to push her as the face of women's basketball. The unrivaled league championship, it's just the latest example of a forced narrative that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. So let's talk about this so-called unrivaled league championship that has the media in a frenzy despite the tournament. Barely making a ripple in the sports world, ESPN and other outlets wasted no time plastering Angel Reese's name all over the headlines, and here's the kicker, she didn't even play in the final 2 games. But that didn't stop the media from pushing a narrative that Ree is one of the greatest athletes of our time there, putting her right up there with Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. Why? Because she won a title at LSU, and now she has a championship in a 3-and-re league that barely anyone watched. Think about that for a second. In any other sport, if a player sits out the most important games of a championship run, they don't get the same level of respect as the ones who actually played. But when it comes to Angel, Ree, the media is willing to rewrite the rules, and let's not pretend this was some elite tournament stacked with top-tier talent, the biggest stars in women's basketball, Wilson, Lia Plum, Kelsey Caitlin Clark, and Sabrina Ionescu weren't even present. And Sabrina Ionescu, who was initially involved, backed out early for the same reason, the best players don't consider this to be true professional basketball, but here we are. Watching social media rush to pretend that this unmatched league title is some major accomplishment, while the reality is embarrassing. Reese's team fought for a championship, and she was nowhere to be found. But instead of calling it what it is, the media is acting as though she just pulled off the greatest title run in history. Then there's the social media spin with Reese's fans flooding Twitter with this championship, along with her LSU title and WNBA rebounding statistics, all of which are meant to sound equally significant. But let's face it, this is just another forced moment to support Angel Ree as the face of women's basketball. Let's break it down. Is this a championship we're celebrating? Or is this just another instance of Reese receiving credit when she didn't deserve it?